but I'm going to describe the anatomy of the pelvic floor. Now, part of the pelvic floor is the sacrum. Here we've got a pelvis. This is the sacrum at the back. It's a rather dirty pelvis, but it actually shows it up in good form when it's a bit dirty. That's all right. We're going to get on. Spine has fallen off there. This is the sacrum at the back. This is the sacrum removed. Now, in osteopathy, in craniosacral therapy and breathing, and with holographic breathing, the sacrum does this motion: breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. So if you're lying down and it's here, breathing in, breathing out. So it tucks under. Now, the sacrum is half of the pelvic floor. So in that scenario, you see that it isn't ballooning down, it is lifting up. That the pelvic floor, this is half of. The pelvic floor rises up around the whole sacrum. So it is tucking under. The pelvic floor is rising on the in-breath, relaxing down on the out-breath, rising on the in-breath, relaxing down on the out-breath. So within that, it's at least holding. So with this motion of the sacrum, as in all cranial sacral therapy, cranial, it is doing that. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. So we'll be working with this at the back, which is the more physical structure and relates to the hara, the bones, the muscles. And we'll be working with this front part, which is the clitoris, the penis, the vagina, the anus, the urethra, all of the muscles of the pelvic floor, the urogenital diaphragm. So you've got this more physical motion at the back, and then you've got all of the different colours of the sexual energies at the front. And we work with all of those organs in different ways in holographic breathing. So breathing in, breathing out. So that motion, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. And as that happens, that is happening naturally, and you just key into it. You don't do it. See, it's in tightening your pelvic floor and relaxing your pelvis. It's not like letting it go down and then tightening, letting it go down. This is what's happening. It's just, you're just being with that. You will feel it. I'm not asking anybody to tighten and relax anything. You just feel it. You can feel it on the in-breath and relaxing on the out. The same as the diaphragm under the lungs. You're not doing it. It's like it happens on the in-breath. It tightens and pulls down. It relaxes and lifts. This is the same. It tightens and it pulls up on the in-breath, relaxes down, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Now what is moving this is I'm sorry, I'm a bit stroppy or maybe sounding a bit strong here, but there's such a vast proliferation of people who think it goes the other way. I feel like I'm fighting against the tide, but all I can say is I'm right, and God is behind me, because God's behind all the divine energies, behind holographic breathing, and they back me up. But I say to you, that's you there, try it. Try it yourself, rather than listening to me, and try what I'm saying, and do it both ways and see what happens. As soon as I do it the other way, the whole energy of holographic breathing just disappears out through my bum hole and out through my pelvic floor. When I do it like this, breathing creates this Kundalini in the sexual organs, in the sacrum, that rises up through my whole body and feeds my whole body. And quite often in breathwork, they'll say at the end, they do it right. This is through the whole in-breath, but I've heard it in many times. They coming towards the end of the in-breath and say, tighten the pelvic floor, and that sends a Kundalini up. Well, it is through the whole in-breath, this tightening releases the sexual energies up through the spine. It fills the whole body. If you do it the other way, all this energy just releases out through your bum hole, through your pelvic floor, and out and gone. It doesn't work. May work with your normal breathing, does not work with holographic breathing. If you want to get this feeling, massaging the sexual organs, releasing that sexual potency in it, rising through the body, do it like this. You can swap, try it both ways, see what it feels like. So there's something moving the sacrum, and that's the muscles of the breath in the pelvis. So I'm not sure if you can see this. Which one do I want to show you first? Well, it's more prominent on the male one. Let's look at the male, because it's a bit bigger. It's not that it's bigger in male, but the picture is bigger. So you've got the sacrum coming down here, you've got the rectum here. Notice how people think of the pelvic floor from the sacrum to here, just this bit. But sorry, from the rectum to here, people think that small bit there is the pelvic floor. But notice how the pelvic floor fills the whole pelvis, and the rectum is actually a little bit forwards from center is about here, the rectum's here, so people are just thinking of this bit as the pelvic floor, but actually it's this whole thing. And you've got all of these muscles. See this muscle in the middle? Now this is slightly tightening and it's pulling through the rectum, the urethra. You got the stem of the penis through there, and for the women you've got the clitoris, the vagina. It's pulling through this, giving this slight tensing on it. Feels nice. If you do this, it feels nice. Good fun. This is tightening, and this is pulling the sacrum under. And then you've got these muscles. This one's coming out to joining to the outside of the femur, to the thigh bone. This is coming down to the sit bones. Again, they're tightening on the in-breath, and they give this motion as these all subtly tighten on the in-breath. All of these muscles, they pull the sacrum under. This feeling everybody has in cranial sacral therapy. Muscles in a very relaxed, passive way, they pull it under on the in-breath. As they relax, they let it go. The muscles of the breath, of the pelvis, pull the sacrum under on the in-breath and relax it out. Now, it's not like something you do. It's not like you consciously try and tighten the muscles of your diaphragm for them to tighten. You just breathe in. You just become conscious. The diaphragm pulls in, so you can't, I don't know that you can physically just tighten the muscles of your diaphragm, but it's part of the breath. You just become aware of the breath. You start feeling this, and all of these muscles with this kind of passive type, it's not like big like the diaphragm, it's holding against it or tightening so that they don't just get pushed out, that they just gently tighten, that pulls the sacrum under, relaxes it back. So let's go back to the more female ones, because it shows the curvature of it. This is heavy, this book. So this is the other way round. You've got the sacrum there. This is lying down. So again, this is the sacrum. So this is lifting on the in-breath. So it's breathing in, breathing out. So it's lifting, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. So this is tucking under, breathing out. So from all the osteopaths, breathing in, breathing out. So can you see how that is half of this curvature? So this is coming up, this is tucking under. So this is also tucking up, and these muscles going directly forwards and out to the side, they all tighten to pull that under. This tightens to pull that up. So all of those muscles of the pelvic floor, they go into this very gentle, it's not like hard, it's like just whoosh, very subtly, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And so the diaphragm has got something to pull to. In holographic breathing, again, I will teach it in the meditation, so you're just getting a visual of it, so don't get worried, you don't have to think, I've got to remember exactly that, because I'll go through it stage by stage in the meditation. The lips are relaxed and closed. The upper surface of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. The breath is through the nose on the in-breath with the lips closed, the jaw gently relaxing. Real motion, half a finger width, 3 or 4 millimeters, the jaw gently opening. On the out-breath, the jaw is gently closing. So breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. So I'll demonstrate that. You might not see the motion of the jaw because it is quite slow. And it is deeply relaxing, deeply healing. For new people, it's good to learn this sitting up. For the actual learning and getting to the initiation, there's a certain initiation in holographic breathing where it just starts. I teach it as an exercise, but then we just get to a point where it just merges with your breath and it feels like an initiation. So at that point, once it's going and it's in your body and just happening, then you can lie down if you want. But until that is actually going, and I will say at a certain point, if you want to lie down now. But for new people, if you actually want to learn it, it's best to do it sitting up, because there's a good chance people will miss bit or just fall asleep if they're not seated. All right, let me just move a bit more centrally. Okay, we're going to start. So closing your eyes. If you know holographic breathing, doing that. If you don't know holographic breathing, just breathing gently. And we're going to start off by bringing in some energies and resources for the meditation and for learning holographic breathing. So we're just going to spiritually bring in some energies. So sending a smile, sending some energy to the earth, and allowing the earth to say hello back. And notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies. And sending a smile, sending some energy to the higher self, and allowing the higher self to say hello back. Notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies. And sending a smile, sending some energy to the beneficial energies. These are any higher beings, divine energies, divine teachers, anyone you normally work with, long as it's beneficial. Sending a smile, sending some energy to the beneficial energies, and letting those energies say hello back. Notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies. And asking the earth the higher self and the beneficial energies to be with you through this whole meditation and video as your healing guide and resource. Okay, so we're going to start learning the holographic breathing. For the new people, it is best to be seated at this stage. So the lips are relaxed and closed. The tongue is on the roof of the mouth. The breath is through the nose. And now, just to get the experience that you can move the jaw up and down without opening the lips, just bouncing the jaw up and down, a bit like chewing, so you get the experience that you can move the jaw and keep the lips closed. So it's a physical, real motion of the jaw. Just bouncing the jaw up and down. Now slow that down and relax that down. So rather than bouncing, the jaw just relaxes open, relaxes closed, and the lips stay closed. And when you feel ready, as the jaw is gently opening with the lips closed, allow the breath to come in through your nose. As the jaw will just relax closed on its own. As the jaw just relaxes closed, the breath gently comes out through the nose. Jaw relaxing open on the in-breath, or the jaw relaxes open, the breath comes in through the nose. The jaw relaxes closed. The breath comes out through the nose. Notice how it feels like a little bellows as the jaw relaxes open. The breath comes in through the nose. As the jaw relaxes closed, the breath leaves through the nose. Jaw is opening, the teeth are separating, letting the breath come in through the nose. The jaw relaxes closed, the breath leaves through the nose. The teeth are coming back together. The teeth slowly come back together, lightly touching. There's no pressure between the teeth. Either they're slightly separate or they're just touching. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. We're now going to change the gestalt. We're going to bring the emphasis to the nose from the jaw. So breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the jaw relaxes closed. Notice how it becomes more meditative, softer. Feel the energies moving through your brain and through your body. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the jaw relaxes closed. Going to integrate that with the whole body. Breathing in, the chest is opening, the jaw follows. As your chest opens, the jaw relaxes open. The lips stay closed all of the time. Breathing out, the chest closes, the jaw follows. It just aligns with your breath. Breathing in, your abdomen opens, the jaw gently opens. Breathing out, the abdomen closes, the jaw gently closes. Dropping right down into your pelvis, breathing in, the pelvis opens. Breathing out, the pelvis closes. To the sides, it opens out to the sides as you breathe in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the pelvis closes, the jaw closes. And feel it through your arms, legs, hands and feet. Breathing in, they're opening. Breathing out, they're closing. You can feel it through every cell. You can feel it. Notice how you can feel it in a subtle way through your whole face, the eyes, the brain, the head, the whole cranium, the neck. It's brought this whole breath to you. Feel your cranium breathing. You can feel your brain breathing. And just feeling that lovely opening out to the sides, closing immediately. So there's this lung experience that everything's opening out to the sides as you breathe in, closing as you're breathing out. And notice how it feels like this movement of the mouth feels like a very subtle form of suckling. And we're going to start connecting up that more vertical motion, which is it shortens top to bottom and everything opens sideways. So we still got all of it opening sideways to create that. There's a shortening top to bottom, a lengthening, narrowing on the out-breath. Breathing in, shortening and widening. Breathing out, lengthening and narrowing. And what I want you to do is having the tongue connected to the roof of the mouth. And feel down your spine, right into the back of your pelvis and into the sacrum, which is rounding round, and the coccyx are coming right down close to the anus. Feeling the tongue on the roof of the mouth and feeling this pull from the roof of the mouth to the sacrum. So it's like or the base of the sacrum, so it's tucking the sacrum under. Roof of the mouth and sacrum pulling together as you breathe in. Relaxing apart as you breathe out. The sacrum is half of the pelvic floor, or the back half of the pelvic floor, or the pelvic diaphragm. Breathing in, it's a bit like the roof of the mouth and the sacrum pulling together as you breathe in. Roof of the mouth and the sacrum dropping apart as you breathe out. Dropping back in your cranium to the lower back and underside of the cranium. And now this pulls you much more into the back of your body, and your back of your body breathing. And they're both doing the same movement. They're both kind of pulling together and tucking under on the in-breath. Breathing out, they're both drifting apart and relaxing. Or they're tensioning. All of the muscles between them are kind of tensioning as if they're being pulled together and tucking under. Drifting apart and flapping back. And from the back and underside of the cranium, you can feel it from here extending forwards through the whole underside of the cranium and through the roof mouth. Notice how this is much more different colours, much lighter energies, heavy, strong physical energy at the back of the head, then all of these colours as it moves through all of the different parameters of movement through the underside of the cranium and the roof of the mouth and the cheekbones. And connecting that to the pelvic floor. Pulling together as you breathe in, or all of the muscles between them stressing and tightening to open the breath on the in-breath. Chest and the abdomen open. All of the muscles relaxing on the out-breath and the whole underside of the skull here drifting and the pelvic floor drifting apart. And feel the sacrum tucking under, and then you've got all of the pelvic floor and the genitalia and all the different colours of energy. Feel this mirrored in the underside of the face and cranial base. And also feel the pelvic, the chest diaphragm pulling down to the pelvic floor and the underside of the cranium and face pulling down on the in-breath, and then both relaxing apart on the out-breath. Feel this deeper, darker, muscular, bony energy in the sacrum and back of the cranium, and then all of these brighter, more movable energies in the front, in the face, and the front of the pelvic floor. And feel it through the clitoris, feel it through the penis, through the legs of the penis, the bulb of the penis, the bulbs of the clitoris, the legs of the clitoris. All breathing. Sitting back into the sacrum, sitting back into the lower back of the head and feeling all of these colours and different energies as you work forwards. And this very subtle tightening on the in-breath, very subtle relaxing on the out-breath. Through the back of your body, it's not really the front of the body and chest are opening, but through the back of the body, through the spine, through the pelvic floor, through the base of the face and cranium. Front of the body is opening, but through the whole back of the body, through the pelvic floor, through the roof of the mouth, through the diaphragm, all very subtly tightening and pulling together, all very subtly relaxing and drifting apart. Very good for healing the genitalia and the sexual energies. Very good for the breathing motion of the cranium. Breathing that in your own way. And then letting that go, letting just become more aware that it's just opening on the in-breath, closing on the out-breath through the abdomen and chest, face and head. There's a sideways opening through the whole body and head on the in-breath, closing immediately on the out-breath. Letting that relax. Going to come back in about a minute. Just breathing gently through your whole body. Let it breathe however it wants to breathe. Generally, we won't feel this shortening and lengthening in our normal breath. I'm just bringing people's attention to it as an exercise, but you just breathe gently with the holographic breathing, with your whole body. Okay, and sending a thank you to the earth, a thank you to the higher self, and beneficial energies. Letting the energies go off for love and healing to the earth, for love and healing to the higher self and beneficial energies, and allowing yourself to be loved and healed. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourself to come back. So it's good to repeat this webinar and do it together with all of the different free webinar, this video, repeat this video, and all the other free videos that give lots of different dynamics to start feeling this in more depth. So there's all of that free work involved. If you want individual sessions or the more advanced webinars, you can go to my website. There's a link in the description below. Please get involved in my mission, or make it your mission. Like, share, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to work with me in person, I do occasionally run, normally once a month, run free webinars. If you want to go into it in depth, I do healing sessions, kind of healing, breathing, anything you want to work with, any traumas, any obstacles in your life, or spiritual, anything. We teach holographic breathing. We work with any dynamics of whatever you want to work with. And there are advanced webinars. So all of that. If you found this useful, like, share, pass it on. You know, really, I would love it if the whole world had this resource. There's so many difficult things happening, there's so many hard things happening, there's so many unfair things happening that we feel powerless. A lot of people feel powerless to do anything about. You can spread good, you can spread helpfulness really easily just by liking this video. Comment in the description, ask questions, comment in the comments. Ask questions in the comments. All of that. Help this spread. Help my vision spread. If nothing else today, you can help my vision spread. That everyone in the world can have this resource. I've got hundreds of free videos. Everyone can have this meditational and healing resource. I feel so healed by this all of the time when I do meditations. I breathe all day like it and do meditations in the morning. I just feel so unbelievably healed by it, and I would love the rest of the world to have that experience as well. Maybe people wouldn't be so pressed to go out and do terrible things if they felt good inside. You can do good inside by helping me with the algorithms on YouTube and passing this on. And there really is divine energies come through these videos. The divine energies come down into them and they help people connect to their own divine energies. All right, thank you so much for coming and doing this video and working with it. Well done. All right, and I look forward to seeing you another time. Thank you.